Hey, thank you for joining me. Thank you for having me in your living room. Jason DeBeas, courtside. This is the first set. This is the switch off. The score is 8-6. That is Miles Evans. Playing back row defense and serving. Needs no last name, needs no real introduction. Ricardo Santos, but we're just going to call him Ricardo. On the other side of the net, we have Avery Drost, who's actually hitting right now. Hits into the block cover. There's a pretty nice set. And trying to get out of the way, but living in the wrong matrix there is Miles Evans. So on the far side of the net, you have the big avatar, Ryan Doherty. Or we'll just call him Avatar. And his partner serving is Avery Big Sexy Drost. Thank you for having me in your living room, Jason DeBeas. Nice pass by Miles. Miles lines wrist away. Doug. Wow, it took a long time to get that approach in here. And cleaning up the mess on that is Ricardo. Extends their lead back to 2. Some disappointment on the first AVP Championship Series. They didn't get out of pool play. Came in as the 1 seed for the qualifier, which is just absolutely, again, strange to say qualifier and have these competitors' names in the same sentence. A little bit of a drifter on that one block by Ricardo as Avery Drost puts it down. Okay, had a little technical thing I had to fix here. I believe it's 10-8. Abraham Solomon, what's up? Greetings, my man. That ball is an ace by Ricardo. It's 11-8. Once again, thank you for having me in your living room. Jason DeBeas. This is NY Varsity Sports. I'm co-promoting with Dade, D-A-D-E. Anyone who doesn't want to hear my voice, this is the original live stream. This is hers. This is my homie, Renee Marcellus. What's up, Mike? From Chihuahua, Mexico. It's 9-11. We're 1 away from the technical timeout. This is the second match. Avery Drost and serving. That's the big man is Avatar. It's Ryan Doherty at the net. Wow, great dig. Looking to get to the technical timeout with some level of comfort, and Miles blocked and Ricardo dug, and that ball unfortunately sails long. And here we are at the technical timeout. Once again, thank you all for joining me.
The little butt cheek. Super cute. I wish that the Cali Bear logo was on both sides, though, because they're both on the left side, so I wish there was one on the left side and one on the right side. Other than that, they are super duper cute.
It's 20-20 on that score. Right now, we're back from the technical timeout. There's the up and down set, and Ricardo had to really jump into that. Striking first blood after the technical timeout is Ricardo and Miles. Miles Evans out of Santa Barbara SBSU, if you will. Santa Barbara University. I don't know if he played outside or opposite, but very dynamic indoor player, and now one of the assistant coaches in one of the more elite juniors volleyball programs for beach volleyball. It's called West Coast. Miles Evans, the head up of that is Aaron Wexler. Aaron Wexler, wherever you are, I love you. I love you and I respect you, and I'm so glad you came on my podcast and we just lit it up, didn't we? There's Miles, an assistant coach there. West Coast Volleyball Club for beach volleyball I think is probably one of the top 3 in the West Coast, certainly in this region. I put it up there with Endless Summer and and I don't know, MB Sander, whoever else can have at it. Kind of a skippity hop approach by Doherty, but makes it happen. Cuts the lead within one. This match is going to be a lot closer than everybody thinks. I expect it to go to 3. Court 3. It's 21 up over there, just in case anybody's wondering. It's 22-21 over there, match point opportunity number 2. It's 14-12 here. And there's an ace. Very good serve by Miles Evans. Miles Evans, if you ever talked to him personally, one of the nicest human beings you ever met. And there's a timeout, a very good timeout, very important before the switch. Speaking of 2 evenly matched teams, there's a 3 seed versus 6. The seeds don't really mean anything. They're just all AVP main draw worthy teams and a lot of multiple time AVP winners. Oops. I mean, for goodness sake, we have, look on this court alone, we have someone that has a gold, a silver, and a bronze. Wow. Good defensive move, but there's a free ball opportunity on the attack. Avery. Wow. Teardrop almost fell, but not on Miles Evans's watch. The up and down set, and Avery, the machine, Drost, puts one down. There's your switch. 13-15. Ricardo, speaking of good human beings. Anyone want to know a big secret about Ricardo? He speaks the Queen's English. So if he looks like he doesn't understand what you're saying, he probably doesn't want to talk to you. He speaks English. Whoa, there's that wrist away. That's one of those things where if you're not trained on that, if you're not practicing just high speed, high delivery wrist away shots, if your matrix isn't adjusted to that, there's not enough twitch reaction. I thought if you looked at the main draw last week, I thought Taylor Crabb did a magnificent job digging those. He stayed in the hatch and played chicken with him, and Taylor got a lot of good digs off of that. Sneaking it through. His team, Drost and Doherty. Score is 14-16. Jeremy Carlin, always love having you on. God, I love these volleyball personalities. There's a ball served to the net, and they extend their lead to 3. Yeah, so as far as Miles Evans and Ricardo Santos is concerned, don't worry about a communication gap between those. Ricardo understands English, and if he doesn't, Dougie Fresh, Doug Nascimento, I keep messing up his name. I'm going to just call him Dougie. He speaks Portuguese, along with 3 other languages. There's a line over. Now they extend their lead to 4. Mike Zaldio, wrist away, drank. There's the drifter. I was expecting more of an up and down on that. Had to jump a little sideways on that, and Ricardo owns up to the touch. I think in this point in his life, he's got nothing left to gain or lose, but to be honest. Miles Evans, I mean, I would love to cite one coming out party for this individual, but he's had many. I mean, the year I met him, he was at Huntington, and he took a 5th with Kurt Topple out of the losers bracket. I thought that was pretty cool. There's a option, if you will. Now the lead is 2 again. Oops, sorry, the lead's not 2 again. I believe that's 19-15. Oh boy. Yep. And my swipe down function is messing with me. Let's fix my scoreboard. Pretty good block, and that's your switch. That's 20-15. I'm gonna see if I could reset the scores with my scoreboard setting. I mean, technically, you should be allowed to just swipe up and down, and that's what your score is. There we are, 20-15-20. That was all pointless. And that ending was as anticlimactic as it was uneventful. Sorry about that, people. I totally missed that, but that's the end of the first set. It's 21-15. Let's take another look at our scoreboard, see if any matches are underway, or to see if there are any major changes in the Quiggle-Wheeler match.
That one, done.
21 up.
21-15.
Sheila Shaw and Mackenzie. Renee is the one making all this possible. This is her live stream under her Facebook handle. It's called Da Day. So, as much as I'd love to take credit for it and listen to the sound of my own voice, none of this is possible without her. Renee from Da Day. I speak for my NY Varsity Sports people. NY Varsity Sports Nation. We love you. Might have got a touch on that. Maybe had to go over. Maybe that was third hit. And there's a free ball opportunity. Looking to strike first blood. Avery, Drost one. Cross court. And they're now on the board. Oops. Let's fix that again. Scoreboard settings. There we go. Scores are reset. Nice little line by Ricardo, and the score is even at 1 apiece. Ricardo, silver medalist in 2000. Lost to the Miracle team, Dane Blanton and Eric Fanoy Moana. Dane Blanton has a very, very interesting story about his match against Portugal, where they were it was 10 up. And if you remember back then, it was side out, so it took 60 minutes just to get to 10 up, and then Eric Fanoy Moana hit a ball wide, and the score is 2-1 here. Sorry. Or should I say 2-2? Yeah, Eric Fanoy Moana hit a ball out of bounds, or a wide. And they called a timeout, and the ref accused them of taking too long on a timeout. And the ref skipped the yellow card and gave him a red. And it was all Fanoy and Dane needed to fire themselves up. Got the side out and got an ace a block, transition, kill off of a poke, and then an ace. And it's such an intriguing story because, like, to most other people, if you get a red card and a point, that usually costs you the game. But to competitors like Dane Blanton and Eric Fanoy Moana, that might have cost the other team the game. It fired them up. They were like, okay, I'll show you. And then, you know, down 12-10, just, I mean, 10 up took 60 minutes. And then the last 5 points took maybe a minute, 40 seconds. So anyone want to hear that story, Dane Blanton, there's a podcast called The Option. It's on iTunes and Spotify. Dane Blanton was on the podcast, and the podcast is also available on this handle, NY Varsity Sports. You're watching on Facebook, and NY Varsity Sports on YouTube. Just look up The Option and Dane Blanton. Or for the people on Facebook, just go on this page. It's up. And it's a magnificent story by a awesome competitor in Dane Blanton. And there's your switch. Also, congratulations to Dane Blanton. He is the, well, it's supposed to be his first year at USC. Their season got canceled via COVID. He's the new head coach at USC for women's beach volleyball. I mean, some people get their job via star power, but his was a combination of star power and true meritocracy. Longtime club coach. Anna Collier, who was the head coach, her assistant for 3 of those years. So as far as working up the chain of command and doing it as right as you can. I don't know if there's I mean, whatever you call a right way or the wrong way is totally subjective, but if there's a right way to do it, he did it right, and congratulations to him. And time will tell if he's going to be a great coach, but I can tell you he's a pretty good one. Miles Evans with the serve. Longtime partner with Bill Kolinsky, still plays with him. They won Seaside last year, I believe, and I believe they won Wapaka playing together. Wapaka is the boat ride tournament in Wisconsin, one of the biggest grass and beach tournaments in the year. I put that up with the Mother Lode, and I certainly put that up with the Pottstown Rumble. Nice hold on the pass by Miles Evans. Miles, line over. Nice read. Sometimes when you're in system and you're on the hatch on defense against the one block, you have to, I don't know, maybe you have to pick something, or you just stay home and eat it. Because some of those in-system plays, man, when you're doing that and you're trying to play the line over and cut, sometimes when you try to take both, you give up both. So maybe on some plays, if they remain in system, you have to stunt and take a chance. But I mean, they got the lead, so they're doing something right. So that's the point where you look at me and say, what do you know? Speaking of leads, that lead dwindled. There's a block, and Ricardo back in control. Lady Wu, thank you for asking that question, because that is a very good question. Court 1, look under Chase Frischman's Facebook handle. I believe it's public. And look under Troy Field's Facebook handle, and because they do a lot of hanging out on Court 1, and they're really, really cool with that. Mark Burek or Volley Chat, there's a point, there's a side out. Mark Burek or Volley Chat have been diligent in their duty. This is a no fan participation tournament, and I mean, I myself, I'm not there. I'm calling this from my not my living room, but I'm calling this from my command center. There's nice. Speaking of Twitch reaction, there's middle transition, but not on Miles' watch. And Doherty says yes on Miles' watch. And there's your switch. That switch looks like 8-6. An ultimate reversal, if you will, from the first set. So I can switch off it was 8-6 Evans and Santos, and now this one's 8-6 Doherty and Drost. Many people say it doesn't mean anything, really. I mean, it's too early in the game against two teams that can run off consecutive points like nobody's business. Pretty nice dig. Looking to get to 9. Avery. Wow. In seam, split seam. I don't even know what you call that, but that ball is in, and looks like 3 in a row. And as a general rule, I mean, me as a longtime player and a longtime coach, someone gets 3 in a row, that's a timeout. Wow. Nice jump in on that line, and Doherty patrolling the net. Avatar. Big up to Avatar for coming on my, I had a previous show to my podcast called Volleyball the Tuesday After. He was nice enough to come on and just talk a bunch of volleyball logistics and just the mood of the game and skill sets and block situations. So those shows are exclusively on YouTube. It's called Volleyball the Tuesday After, and that's Ryan Doherty. Ball was in, on a wrist away. Serve out of the middle. Perfect handle. That cross back. Man, that crossbody cut back when you are a giant is terrifying to play defense against. Thank you for joining me. For those of you that just joined me, we're in the second set. But all tell signs, momentum-wise, looks like we might be going to a third. Of course, like I said before, you know, score-wise, might be too early to tell in light of the fact that both teams are notorious for being streaky. That's giving up a lot of points as well as getting them. So you never can tell, but it looks like right now it's going to the third set. Miles on the J-hook pass. There's a line over Doug. Transition. Drost. Got it. Shot counts and the foul. Trying to salvage a little bit before the technical timeout is Avery Drost. Sorry, excuse me, is Miles Evans and Ricardo. There it is. Got it. There's your technical timeout. I believe the score is 10-11. Once again, streaky. Both teams are streaky. Mike Zaldillo says, wrist away, drink. Says it again, wrist away, drink. So this is for you. We're back on the court. Technical timeout. Miles Evans trying to whoop it up a little bit. Ricardo, jump floater, out of the middle, stepping in. Avatar, Doherty, cross court. And the referee dodging for his life and striking first blood after the technical timeout. It's Ryan Doherty and Avery Drost. Let's do the score. Boom. Wow, speaking of crossbody cutback, Ricardo, the master of the volleyball mystic arts, puts one down in convincing fashion. Shaves the lead to 1. Once again, Ricardo, silver medalist in 2000, gold medalist in 2004, bronze medalist in 2008. Pretty nice wrist snap by Miles Evans and extends their lead again. We're going to give you guys a score check in a minute. Just want to make sure I'm clicking the right score. I believe it's 12 up. Yep. Okay pass. A little bit of a trap set, and being at the scene of the crime is Ricardo, and a little bit of a desperation middle leads to a down ball, almost free ball situation, and trying to go over on one. Too much of a cute move by Avery Drost against someone who's got the twitch muscles, speed, and reflexes to run that down, even late in Miles Evans. I think one of the oddest things I saw was in 2017, you know, you got Ricardo, won 3 medals, 1 medal apiece for each Olympics, and, you know, aspiring to playing the AVP, watching him in the qualifier in New York. And watching all of those teams like take the trip to New York because they you know, they think they have a better chance of qualifying because there's not a lot of they believe that they're superior to the local competition, and then having to run into him the second or first round, it's like, really, oh my God, here, AVP, fine, take my money. 13-12, timeout is called. Yeah, Mike Zaldillo was like, see Ricardo blow up Taylor Crabb last week, still hits heavy, yeah. Taylor, let me tell you something, Taylor got a lot of digs. He just sat in the hatch and was like, okay, I'm willing to pay the price. And somewhere in the middle of, you know, getting blown up or getting six-pack, woo-hoo-hoo, sorry, that deserves a moment. That's when I shut up and let Ricardo be Ricardo. It's now 14-12. Yeah, but Taylor eventually just got his timing And when you get his timing, you I call it readjusting your matrix, where you're moving at normal speed and everything else is moving at like 3/4 speed. And Taylor's very good with that. And eventually, I think he got more digs than he got six pack, but I do remember him getting blown up. And if you look at the way Taylor Crabb plays volleyball, beach volleyball, it wasn't the first time, it won't be the last time you see someone hit him in the chest, knock his glasses off, whatever. That's just who he is, man. That guy pays the price, and he gets so many digs. He's such a great defensive player. And when I say great defensive player, I don't mean on just the AVP scene or the regional scene. This man is defensive all world, and I'm patriotic and maybe a little bit nationalist, but when I say that I love to see Americans do well, and we cheer for our own. You really, really, love to see the red, white, and blue do well on the international scene. We follow a lot of other players. I do like Nikolai and Lupo as a team. I do, and I love Sharif from Qatar, lefty. He's a good athlete. Good. His pull. You ever watch videos on the way this guy pulls, you want to teach it, but at the same time, you do so hesitantly, because the way he pulls is about having the right athlete to do it, And anyone's like, oh, we got elite athletes here. And I'm like, no, we don't. There's only, I mean, on the international and domestic scene, when you see his dip and pull and the deception and how he does it, I maybe three other guys. There's a hit off the block, and that is Miles Evans bopping around the clock, and scores now 16-14. Aaron Wexler. So strange you should come on this thing. I was just talking about you. Talked about West Coast Volleyball, talked about how elite your juniors program. I call it top three. I told them, Dane told a story about Portugal on both of our podcasts, and I want you to type in the name of your podcast now. I think it's Into the Game, but for the people listening, I want to make sure that they know what it is, and more exclusively that I got that right. Let's see if I can fix our score. I believe it's 16-15. Avery, big sexy Drost. Serves middle, serves left shoulder. Handled terribly by Miles Evans, and that play just had jinx written all over it. Now, just like that, 16 up. Yeah, Aaron Wexler's podcast is called Within the Game. And unlike me, this man does gold medalists only. He had Karch Karai. Reed Pretty is his first guest. Karch Karai, here's a jump serve. Getting out of the way on that one. Keanu Reeves style is Miles Evans, and they now get the lead back, however narrowly. So Aaron Wexler's first guest is Reed Pretty. Second guest was Dane Blanton, then Karch Karai. Ryan Millar had Geeter on the podcast. It's called Within the Game. And I love this guy to pieces. I'm a prisoner of the moment, and I'm biased towards the people I like, more so than the people I don't. 17 up. Within the Game. And Dane, if you want to hear that story about Dane Blanton, my podcast is called The Option, iTunes, Spotify, and on YouTube, just look under The Option and his name. And Facebook, just come right here, NY Varsity Sports, where you're watching this live stream on this handle. You scroll down, you're going to see a lot of great podcasts. Casey Jennings, Jason Olive, longtime player, now actor. Theo Brunner. Of course, upstarts, new players. Evan Corey, had Evan Corey on the podcast. Big pain in the ass lefty. John Mayer, head coach of LMU, multiple-time AVP champ. Pretty cool story about John Mayer. John Mayer actually retired on my show, my old show called Volleyball the Tuesday After. He, 2018 December, decided to hang up his playing spurs and pursue coaching full-time. 5 months later, WCC champs beat Pepperdine in the WCC finals. Nice side out, scores 18 up. Yeah, WCC's, which has pretty good competition, St. Mary's, LMU, Pepperdine. LMU got knocked into the losers bracket, and John Mayer's team had to come out of the losers bracket, pretty much out of hell, come all the way back to the end. And if whoever's in the winners bracket, you have to beat them twice. So they beat Pepperdine not once but twice, and secured their first WCC championship in what I call the Pepperdine Invitational, because it's been nothing but Pepperdine. Good moment for John Mayer. Good moment for me, director of operations for a year and a half. I was with him. Good moment for the athletic department. To my understanding, it was the only game, the only time the athletic director came out and watched him play. So as a coach, you're like, wow, the one time my boss comes out to watch me play, we win the WCC champs. And there's a timeout. There's a 1-point lead. Phenom lefty Miles Partain, another pain in the ass lefty. Ty Loomis, two-time AVP champ. Won in 2009 with Casey Patterson. And then won San Francisco in 2017 with Madison McKibben. That's right. Madison McKibben looked Chewbacca-esque. That ball sails out of bounds, and now we got ourselves a tie game. Very important for Santos and Evans to secure this second set. Rest as much as they can because they got one more match to play. And just, I mean, the emotions and the stress is so heightened. These winner-go-home qualifiers where you have main draw and AVP worthy champs. That ball's out of bounds, and that's match point opportunity number 1. I mean, there's so much at stake. It's so weird seeing AVP finalists and champs in the something I've always affectionately referred to as the gladiator pits. 2019, Evans and Santos. Jump serve coming. Left shoulder serve. Draw sails out. Up and down set. Woo! Oh, man. Look out. Bombs away. Wrist away. Goes Avery Drost. Whoops, I said wrist away. Oh, my God. Mike Zaldea, what have you done? I'm going to start doing that, man. You're going to hear a slurred speech in a minute. I'm going to sound like one of Rosie's Raiders in the late afternoon. Beautiful shot. Miles Evans, sometimes the wheels come off, but when he is on, he's Captain Clutch. Just a reminder, there is no scoring freeze. You might be looking at AVP live scoring, and it's captioned all the way on the right. So over here it says in the freeze. That is not the case. Line over. What a dig. Going on 2. Wow. Line shot. Another dig. Another dig. Almost looks like a left and right drill by Miles Evans, and he'd love to have 3 digs off of that. That would have been the match. And instead, bum, 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 bum. 21 up. Yeah, but again, I mean, it must be a stressful situation, you know, because you have so much time and invested in many of these elite athletes, these professionals. As far as like having a sole source of income, this is it. So messing with people's money. No wonder no one's calling touch blocks on their own. Except Santos. He's the only one I've seen in the whole series to be like, you got me. At the situation where no one would have known if he didn't just raise his hand and say, guilty, Your Honor. Nice hold on that platform by Miles. Miles, can he side out? Wow, there's a wrist away, and Avery, big, sexy Drost, showing his athleticism, getting a touch on that, but in the game of inches, it wasn't enough, and match point opportunity number 3. Goes to the higher seed. Ricardo this time. Low toss, jump serve, mild top spin, but left shoulder serve, and Ryan Doherty says, get that stuff out of here. Cut back, straight down. 22 up. Ryan Doherty out of Toms River, New Jersey. Serve out of the middle. Not Ricardo's best pass, and looked like he was going to go power wrist away, but last minute adjustment on a cutover and very high IQ move made by the 3-time Olympic medalist. Miles Evans to serve. Miles Evans out of Santa Barbara. You guys message me what position he played. I expect him to go middle again on this one, and not for lack of trying, that ball goes into the net. 23 up. And as far as Avery Drost is concerned, I like middle. I like Miles Evans' left shoulder because he doesn't always face his platform. When he angles his platform, he doesn't always face his platform. But wow, great step in. Who needs to face your platform when you have enough time to just literally take both your feet, step into it, and midline it? Match point opportunity number 5. Which goes to Ricardo and Miles. Yeah, so Miles' left shoulder, sometimes he faces forward, and he doesn't do this on his right shoulder. He angles out, but sometimes he faces forward and angles his platform while facing forward. So now both forearms are facing more upwards. And sometimes it goes to the target, but sometimes it just pops straight up or it goes backwards. And there's a side out. No! Wow. A shot that's as academic as it is relatively easy by Ryan Doherty sails out of bounds, and looks like that's game. And it looked like Ryan wanted the ref to take a look at it, and the ref was like, it's out. And oh my goodness, what an emotional crash. But that's the end of the match. Winners 2-0. Miles, Ricardo, they're moving on to the final round to get into the main draw.